Hello students, welcome to the English class. Today I am going to continue with the same chapter that we began in our last class, that is Madam Rides the Bus, which is also the lesson number 9 and is written by Valli Kannan. So in this chapter I would tell you what we read or what we had already done in the last class before proceeding with the chapter. So in this chapter, in the last class, we had read that this story is about a girl named Williamai who was called Valli for short, and she was 8 years old. She wanted to know many things at a very small age, and she would stand in front of the doorway of her house and would see what was happening outside. And she had no playmates, and watching the things gave Valli many unusual experiences. And there ran a bus between her village and the nearest town, and Valli got great joy in seeing new sets of passengers. So, day after day, she watched the bus. She soon developed a wish to ride on that bus. Then Valli's wish to ride the bus became stronger and stronger, and she thought that if a friend described her riding in the bus, she would downplay her. That is, and she was interested in listening to the conversation of the people who used to travel by bus and noted each and everything that she required to ride the bus. And she would also speak English word, proud, though she did not know the meaning of it. Then Valli listened to the talks of the persons, and this way she learnt about small details of the journey. She now knew that the town was 6 miles away and the fare was 30 paise one way. The time of the ride was 45 minutes, and she also knew how she would return. Thus, she planned before starting the ride. So, we can say that Valli is a very intelligent girl and very cautious, and she planned and calculated everything before beginning her ride. And one fine spring day, Valli rode in the bus in the afternoon. She collected the fare, 60 paise that was required for the journey of both the sides, and she resisted many temptations to do so and collected 60 paise. And when she reached the bus, she wanted to board the bus. The conductor who was in the bus was jolly and fond of joking, and he understood that Valli spoke with pride, and he offered Valli a front seat, calling others to make way for Madam. And he remarked or called her Madam. Why? Because she behaved very smartly and confidently like a grown up lady. So that's why. And the conductor, he was also very fond of Valli, and he enjoyed with her playing jokes on her. Then there were only 6 or 7 passengers in the bus at that time, and when Valli tried to board the bus, collector offered her the help, thinking her to be too small to climb the bus. But Valli behaved like an like an adult, and she refused to accept any kind of help, showing that she was independent. And as she just climbed the bus, all the passengers, they started looking at Valli, and they were laughing with the conductor, and Valli felt it insulting. Then Valli studied everything in the bus. It had soft and comfortable seats. It had a beautiful clock above the windscreen. She looked outside, but she had to stand up on the seat because of the curtain, as she was not able to look outside the window, or she could not see the outside view. And the bus was going along the bank of canal. She saw palm trees, mountains, and the blue sky. And on the other side there were green fields. Then we saw that what happened in the bus. Suddenly an elderly person asked Valli not to stand up, calling her child, and Valli got angry. She replied proudly that she was not a child. and as she had paid the full price of the fare like others. And the conductor enjoyed it. He was very humorous. He told the elderly person that Valli was a grown up madam. Valli looked at the conductor angrily, and she told him that she was not a madam and he had not yet given her the ticket. And the conductor gave her a ticket. This shows that Valli was also very cautious, and she kept an eye on the conductor and remembered that she had given the money, she had paid the fare, but the conductor had not given her the ticket. So then the conductor told Valli to sit comfortably. She should not stand, but Valli said that she wanted to stand, and she told her, and that conductor told her that she would fall and hurt on sharp turns, and he called Valli child. And at this, Valli said that she was not a child, and she told that she was 8 years old. Very confidently she said that. Then at the next stand, an elderly woman came and sat beside Valli when the bus stopped at the next stop. The woman asked Valli if she was alone. Then Valli looked at the woman, and she had ugly earrings, and she had betel nut in her mouth. Betel juice was likely to come out, which was not liked by Valli. And at this, Valli replied that she was alone and had got a ticket. The conductor added the same thing, and then Valli asked him why he didn't mind his own business, and she then laughed with the conductor. Then the woman told Valli that it was not proper for her to travel alone, as she was elderly lady and she was concerned about the welfare of the girl. And she asked Valli about her house. Then Valli replied that she needn't bother about her, and she turned her face towards the window as she did not like to talk to that woman. She despised that woman. She did not like her appearance, and she did not want to socialize with her. So this is all what we read in the chapter earlier. Now let's move further. Further in the third part, it is said that her first journey, what careful, painstaking, elaborate plans she had to make for it, and she had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and the like. And finally, she had saved a total of 60 pies. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, but she had resolutely stifled a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. First, we'll see to the meaning of all the hard words in this paragraph. The word thriftily means spend money carefully, and resolutely stifled means suppressed or controlled with determination. And temptation is when you are tempted, when you are attracted towards something. So in these lines, the narrator says that undoubtedly Valli had to put innumerable amount of effort in planning and saving for her first ever bus journey, and it was a dream ride for her, and she resisted every temptation ranging from peppermints, toys, balloons to merry-go-round at the village fair, which are very attractive for all the children. But she controlled her emotions, controlled all these attractions, and she did not move further to buy them, though she had the money. And after so many efforts, she finally saved 60 pies. Then next paragraph says, after she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. But she managed this without too much difficulty, and every day after lunch her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. That is, she used to sleep for 4 hours, and Valli always used those hours for her excursions. Excursions are to venture outside, or you can say picnics. And ventured means went cautiously. So in these lines, the narrator says that when the financial obstacle had been dealt with, that is, she was able to collect 60 pairs, The next problem was to be able to sneak out, that is to move out secretly without anyone noticing, especially her mother. She did not want her mother to know that she was moving out. In this paragraph, the narrator says that when the financial obstacle had been dealt with, that means she was able to collect the money required to travel by bus, that is the fare of the bus, that was 60 paise. As she collected that much money, the next problem was to be able to move out secretly without anyone noticing. How she would move out of the house without being noticed or without being known by her mother. Then usually Vali's mother used to sleep from 1 to 4 every afternoon, and Vali used to benefit from this and used to go for picnics in the village, that is excursions in the village. She used to move in the village in those hours, and this time it could be used for an excursion outside the village. That means now she would be using this much time only, 1 to 4, to travel by bus to the nearby town, for which she had already planned and collected the fare. Then further, the next paragraph says, the bus rolled on now, cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet or past an odd wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them, or a pedestrian crossing the road. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. Trees came running towards them, but then stopped as the bus reached them, and simply stood there helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. So in these lines, the word hamlet means it is a small settlement with only few houses, and gobbling up means to swallow or eat hastily. Gobbling means eating or devouring, and pedestrian crossing, path for walkers. The people who walk on foot are called as pedestrians. And smoothly means without any difficulty. Obstacles are the hurdles. So in this paragraph, the narrator says that now the bus reached an area which did not have trees. So as the bus was moving, it was passing through various places. So it reached an area where there were no trees, and it was a barren land with few shrubs growing here and there. And it crossed a small settlement and a shop by the road. So there was an area where there were only few houses, and there was a shop by the road. So as the bus went with high speed, Valli thought that it would swallow the oncoming vehicles and pedestrians. That means when you are sitting in the bus, you must have noticed the people who are sitting in front, next to the driver's seat. Then you feel that the things which are moving on the road are very small. They look very small, and you feel that the bus is going to eat them all up, and even the pedestrians, the people who are walking on foot. But to her surprise, it passed safely, crossing all the hurdles. And when the bus was moving, it seemed as if trees were rushing towards the bus and would stop as soon as the bus reached them. But as the bus crossed them, it appeared as if the trees were running away from the bus. So this was the things that she admired while traveling in the bus. Then further, the next paragraph says, suddenly Valli clapped her hands with glee. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to a crawl, and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again. But the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became, and the faster it galloped, always right in front of the bus. So So in these lines, the meaning of the hard words like glee means happiness or joy. Honked means sounded, that is the horn which sounds, which was blown by the driver. Frightened, terrified. Galloped means run faster. Then, so in these lines, the narrator says that Valli was filled with happiness and joy while traveling in the bus, and suddenly a cow came running in the middle of the road right in front of the bus. The bus slowed down to give her the way and honked repeatedly. Unfortunately, the cow became more terrified and ran in front of the bus. So, as the driver blew more horns, the cow became wild and kept on running faster and faster. And then Valli, she started clapping her hands with in happiness as she saw the young cow running. Then further, the next paragraph says that somehow this was very funny to Valli. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough? Called the conductor. Better save some for tomorrow. At last the cow moved off the road, and soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. A speck of the train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there it traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street and turning entered a wider thoroughfare. Thoroughfare is a busy public road. So such big, bright looking shops. What glittering displays. Glittering is shining. Displays of clothes and other merchandise. Merchandise, the other things for sale. Such big crowds. Struck dumb with wonder, Valli gaped at everything. Gaped is to stare at something, or to stare or to look continuously at something. And railroad crossing means an intersection where a railway line crosses a road or path. So in these lines, the narrator says that Valli found the cow incident extremely humorous and laughed to the extent that brought tears to her eyes. And again conductor teased her by telling her that it was enough for the day, and that she should save some laughter for the next day. Somehow the cow went off the road on his own, and the bus stopped at the level crossing from where the train was visible as a tiny dot. So that means the train was very far off. It was looking very small, like a dot, because it was at a very huge or great distance. But as the train approached nearer, it grew larger, and the train passed with a huge roar, thus shaking the entire road and the bus along with it. And the bus started moving and reached a narrow street, and on taking a turn, it reached a wider road. Then there were big and brightly lit shops on the road that displayed merchandise for sale, other things for sale. And Valli was attracted towards all the lights and decorations, and she glanced at each and everything. Further, the next line says, then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Valli. Hey lady, said the conductor, aren't you ready to get off? This is as far as your 30 pies takes you. No, Valli said, I am going back on this same bus. She took another 30 paise from her pocket and handed the coins to the conductor. Why? Is something the matter? No, nothing's the matter. Nothing is the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all. Don't you want to have a look at the sights now that you are here all by myself? Oh, I'd be much too afraid. And greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said, but you weren't afraid to come in the bus? Nothing to be afraid of about that, she answered. So again, this is a very humorous note and very humorous thing. So we'll see what happens in this paragraph. The narrator says that the bus arrived at its destination, that is it reached the nearest town, and everyone except Valli deboarded the bus. They got down of the bus, and the conductor informed her that this was the last stop, and just then she took out another 30 paise from her pocket to buy a ticket back to her village. She expressed that she only intended to take a bus ride, and upon being asked to wander nearby, she told him that she was too afraid for that. She did not want to move in the hustle and bustle or in the great rush or in the great crowd. And conductor, while maintaining his nature all throughout the journey, replied by saying that she wasn't afraid to travel alone in the bus without anyone's help, then why she was afraid of roaming in the town. To this, Valli replied confidently, as far as the bus ride was concerned, there was nothing to be afraid of in that. So then further, so what was the in reality? Why she did not want to roam outside or to see the shops nearby? Why? Because she did not have money and she wanted to avoid the temptations. So next line says, well, then why not go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either. Oh no, I couldn't do that. Well, then let me bring you a cold drink. No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket, that's all. It will be my treat and not cost you anything. Oh no, she said firmly. Please no. Conductor shrugged, and they waited until it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there weren't many passengers, and conductor asked her if she wished to have a drink at the nearby stall, or if he could bring her a drink if she was afraid to go out of the bus. But Valli told her that she didn't have enough money, and the conductor insisted on it being his treat. But Valli denied. She refused to accept anything from the conductor and this shows her self-respect. And both of them waited for the new set of passengers to board. And this time too, like the previous time, there were very few passengers who boarded the bus. Then further, the next, now the fourth part. In the fourth part, the first line says, won't your mother be looking for you? The conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. No, no one will be looking for me, she said. So in these lines, now this shows that the conductor was very much concerned about Valli, and he asked her if her mother would be looking for her as she was all alone. Valli instantly replied by saying that no one was waiting on her. Then further, the next line says, the bus started, and again there were same wonderful sights. Valli wasn't bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicle. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. The conductor nodded, and she was overcome with sadness. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life, and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread, eagled, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. So now we see to the hard words here. So the word spread eagled means spread out. So in these lines, the narrator says that the return journey began, and Valli was just as excited as she was the first time when she was traveling. She was looking at everything enthusiastically when she suddenly noticed a cow lying dead by the roadside. And This shows that the cow must have been hit by a fast moving vehicle. And Valli confirmed with the conductor that if it was the same cow they had seen earlier, and her mood experienced a shift towards sadness. That means she became very sad seeing the cow lying dead, whom she had seen earlier few hours back, who was running on the road, and she wondered how a lovable and playful creature instantly transformed into a horrible and lifeless one. So this was very shocking for Valli. Then further it says the bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. She no longer wanted to look out the window. She sat thus glued to her seat until the bus reached her village at 3:40, and she stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope you see again." "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us. And don't forget to bring your fare." She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for home. So here in these lines, the word haunted means returned repeatedly to her mind, or that was impossible to forget. Haunted means came to mind again and again. Dampening her means killing her courage. And glued means fixed. So in these lines, the narrator says that the sight of the dead cow robbed Valli of her enthusiasm, and thus she stopped looking out of the window. She sat silently on her seat until she reached home at around 3:40. While deboarding, she conveyed her intention of seeing the conductor again, to which the conductor replied in a sarcastic manner. He told her not to forget her fare the next time, and she intended to intended to travel. And hearing this, Valli went home. Then the next paragraph says, when she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Valli's aunts, the one from South Street. The aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once. She started talking. "And where have you been?" said her aunt when Valli came in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. So Valli just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. So in these lines, it is said that Valli found her mother, when she entered the house, she found her mother awake from her afternoon nap, and then her mother was talking to one of her aunts who lived in the South Street, who had come to visit them. The aunt spoke so much that Valli called her a real chatterbox, and it was difficult to make her stop talking. And she even asked Valli a question, and without giving her enough time to reply, resumed talking to Valli's mother. And Valli also took the benefit of the moment and avoided any conversation regarding where she had been. Then further, the next paragraph says, "Yes, you are right," her mother said. "So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely, can we?" "Oh yes," breathed Valli. "What?" asked her mother. "What's that you say?" "Oh," said Valli, "I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening without our knowledge." "Just a chit of a girl she is," said her aunt, "and yet look how she pokes her nose into a conversation, just as though she were a grown lady." Valli smiled to herself. She didn't want them to understand her smile, but then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? So here in these lines, the word pokes her nose means takes an interest in something that doesn't concern her. and chit of a girl means a little girl or a tiny girl. So in these lines it is said that while Vali's mother and aunt were conversing, her mother was heard talking about the endless possibilities in the world one was unaware about, and even if one knew, it was another thing to understand it. And Valli affirmed, or she agreed to what her mother was saying, and leaving both of them astonished, she then justified her reaction by mentioning that she was casually agreeing to what her mother was saying. And her aunt then referred to Valli as a nose poking girl who acted like a grown up lady. But only Valli knew what she was referring to, because, after all, no one knew about her bus journey. So, this is all in this chapter. I hope you all have understood it and enjoyed the story of this little girl. Then now I will be discussing the question and answer of the oral comprehension check. Now the first oral comprehension check, what was Valli's favorite pastime? You can say that Valli's favorite pastime was to gaze at the hustle and bustle of the street. Next, what was a source of unending joy for Valli? What was her strongest desire? So for this we can say that the sight of the bus with new passengers was a source of unending joy for Valli. Her strongest desire was to ride on that bus. Next question, what did Valli find out about the bus journey and how did she find out these details? We can say that Valli found out that the town was 6 miles from the village and the fare was 30 pies on one way. She found out these details about the bus, etc., after hearing the passengers' conversation. The third question, what did Valli find? What do you think Valli was planning to do? So we can say that Valli planned to ride on the bus. She could take the 1 o'clock afternoon bus and she would reach the town at 1:45 and she would be back home by 2:45. Next question of the next oral comprehension check, that is, why does the conductor call Valli madam? We can say that conductor called Valli madam because she behaved like a very grown up woman. She was quick in her answers to the conductor's questions and also she spoke with great confidence. This made him address her as madam. Then further, the next question, why does Valli stand up on the seat? What does she see now? We can say that Valli stands up on the seat. It is because she can't see outside and the bus curtain has covered the lower part of her window and now she sees the canal and other things beyond it. The next question, what does Valli tell the elderly man when he calls her a child? So we can say that Valli tells the elderly man that there is nobody there who is a child and she says that she has paid her fare of 30 paise like everyone else. So she is also not a child. The next question, why didn't Valli want to make friends with the elderly woman? So we can say that Valli did not want to make friends with the elderly woman because according to Valli she looked repulsive and smelled foul. Or we can say that Valli was already annoyed with how everyone was treating her like a child, and when that elderly woman came and showed concern about her, it irritated her further. And moreover, she had large holes in her earlobes with ugly earrings that Valli developed strong dislike for. And the lady was chewing betel nut and its juice could have spilled any moment and automatically making her a less socially desirable person according to Valli. So this was the next oral comprehension check question and answers. Now the last oral comprehension check questions. The question is, how did Valli save up money for her first journey? Was it easy for her? So we can say that undoubtedly she had put innumerable amount of effort in planning and saving for her first ever bus journey, and it was a dream ride for her. She resisted every temptation ranging from peppermints, toys, balloons to merry-go-round at the village fair. And after so many efforts, she finally saved 60 pies. And no, it was not easy for her to do that. Next question, what did Valli see on her way that made her laugh? We can say that Valli saw a cow that was running along the road and came in front of the bus. And as the driver honked, it started running in front of the bus. And the more the driver blew the horn, faster did it run, but did not get out of the way. And this was funny for Valli, and she kept on laughing till she had tears in her eyes. Next question, why didn't she get off the bus at the bus station? So for this we can say that Valli didn't get off the bus on reaching the town because she only boarded the bus with the intention of taking a ride to and from the nearby town. And moreover, she was too afraid to even casually have a look at her surroundings as she was all alone. The next question, why didn't Valli want to go to the stall and have a drink? What does this tell you about her? So we can say that Valli was too afraid to get off the bus alone, and moreover she didn't have enough money to buy herself a drink. Therefore she didn't intend on going to the stall for a drink. This shows that Valli was a responsible and careful child who was aware that getting off the bus without an adult could get her in trouble. And moreover, as she did not have the money, she denied the treat offered by the conductor, which showed that she was a mature child and a self-respecting girl. Or in the other way you can write that Valli did not want to go to the stall and have a drink. It was because she didn't have the money for that. And she also declined the offer of a drink by the conductor. And it tells that she was a wise, self-confident and self-respecting girl. So this is all for today. I hope you all have understood it. Thank you and goodbye.